Hello and welcome to the Faith Building Podcast, episode 61, with your lovely and amazing host, Vladi Kuna.
And Norman Gräter. Hi.
Hello. Today we want to speak about purpose. I just opened my little notebook and I found a beautiful sentence that I wrote down. And Dr. Tom Morder said, if you are not here by accident, you must be here on purpose. So we want to speak today about purpose. If you're not here by accident, but you're here on purpose, what's your purpose? And to kick us into today's topic, just imagine a watch. I'm not wearing watches since a couple of years, but if I would wear one, I believe that each and every little tiny wheel that's in and every bolt and nut and screw and whatever is inside a watch is there on purpose. I doubt that the companies that build watches put stuff in that nobody needs. Yes, sometimes there's a little wheel that's responsible for the date. It just clicks once a day at midnight. It just moves the date one spot forward. And then there's another wheel that's responsible for the seconds. And it's busy every second. Tuck, 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 tuck. Then you have a little wheel for the hour. Then you have a little wheel for something else and supporting the seconds or the hour or the date. So each and every part in a watch is there on purpose. Can we believe that God, the universe, whoever brought us here, evolution, made no mistake by bringing us? I really doubt that we have people on the planet that are here without a purpose, that are here just to waste air, to waste space, and just to be in the way of each and every one that's on purpose. I doubt that. I think everything makes sense. Nature, if you look at nature, if you look into the universe, everything is in harmony. Everything has kind of a structure and it's beautiful. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. So can you come to the awareness that you being on this planet during this time, it makes sense. And if you're not here by accident, you're here by purpose. And what could the purpose be, Vladi? You just opened a wonderful book and opened a similar page that's all about purpose. You want to share that with us?
Yes. It's funny because we were saying what shall the topic be? And while we both grabbed whatever's around us to get some message, I've opened my favorite book, Love and Law by Ernest Holmes. Open it on the be definite and have purpose. And always be definite is highlighted, underlined, circled with my little star. And when I read books and have this aha moment, like all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's this fireworks almost in your head. I put a star there and put BAM next to it. BAM. That's my way of studying. Everything with BAM is something that really brought me to the moment. So going back to purpose, I will have to start with this. I was always curious. Am I on my purpose, or do I decide what my purpose is, or have I actually already came on this planet with a purpose? Because the soul already has a purpose inside. But you also are given a free will where you can make a choice and you can find your purpose or decide your purpose, should I say. And when I interviewed Neil Donald Walsh, I've asked him this question, and I remember he said this, which I really love, is he said, there's two ways. One is the purpose is here, and you either are patiently going with using your higher mental faculties, what we always talk about, and you unfolding it. It's unfolding for you. And if you feel your guts, you know what the right thing is. It's more spiritual way, and it's also more for you if your consciousness is higher and you allowing it. Usually humans are very programmed, so we don't choose this way because you have to have patience. You have to believe that everything's happening right, just perfectly fine, and everything works in divine order. And that's why usually in early stages, and I'd say this not talking about age, but talking about the life of experience. The longer we're here, the more wisdom we have, more experiences we have, we change our beliefs, and also we grow. So we can choose. That's why so many people say, well, if you could go back, where would you go? Which part of your life would you go? I would never go back a day. I love the way I've lived my life. There's so many things I love. There's so many things I don't, but I wouldn't just go back. I am perfectly fine the way I am right now. And I just love it. I wouldn't want to go back. And the reason we want to go back is because we don't understand life. So going back to your body, and I love how Norman's talking about how something works purposely, because your body works perfectly. Think about that. Your brain, your cells, the cells are in every part of your body, and it is just working perfectly, just like the watch that we actually created. And the same is this universe. This universe works in divine order. And I have to bring this sentence from Susanna Mihaljevic, where our mentor Bob Proctor said to her, did you know that if you weren't here, the entire universe would be out of order? That's how important you are. But the question is, are you on your purpose? Or are you trying to give your power away by looking around and paying attention to other people and who does this better and how far they've gone, and I'm not doing enough? And this is something that actually is happening in a personal development industry a lot these days. We are lovers of personal development, and we always tell you do a study. But if you're running like a headless chicken and trying to compare yourself to others and trying to prove yourself and be better than somebody else, this world is just way too fast-paced. People have no time to pause and think what is right for me. What would I love to do? Not what you want me to do or somebody else wants me to do, but what would I love to do? And that's where we're going wrong. We're disconnecting from the core of ourselves. And do you remember what we told you last week? Everything comes from within. So am I on my purpose? Am I doing the stuff I love? Is that what's the other way of saying it is, it's your calling. You feel this is the right thing for you. And it's you want to get the messages. Usually we're trying to find the best way for us to deliver the message. Or, it's like Norman said, it's not about teaching lessons. It's about guiding and developing people. I love the word developing, because if you think about that, it's like you're an architect of your life. And the architect gives the developers the program, so the developers have to actually follow. So all the mentors and all the books and everything you're learning in this life, they are part of developing you, because you can script your life the way you desire. But are you doing it?
Yes, and what just comes in my mind in addition to that, and it goes back to the I Am episode 60 we had last week. Do you surround yourself with purpose-driven things and people? Which means, are you spending your time or investing your time in people that help you driving a purpose towards somewhere? And I'm just being reminded that each and everything that is around you has a frequency. The couch, the cup, the microphone. And the question is, what's the frequency in that? I mean, whoever created it, either the material itself has a frequency, like gold has a frequency. Plastic probably does not have a frequency, but still the creator put a frequency into it. Even a piece of paper, movie poster, books, they have a frequency. And if you're not aware of the frequency, they just vibrate their frequency. And the question was always, what was the intention of the person that created something? Let's imagine you have a poster on your wall from Freddy Krueger, horror movie from your youth, at least from my youth. The intention that the person who created the poster was to create scarcity, to freak people out. Also the glove Freddy Krueger wears with the knives. At one point I was thinking about getting a glove like that, because I kind of grew up with Freddy Krueger, and the only time we skipped school, we watched Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. Not proud of that, but we did. And the Iron Eagle, cool movie. And I had the pleasure, I think, for 2 or 3 days to work with Robert England, with the actor, and he was so kind and nice that I thought, just as a reminder, have this cloth. But still, let's look at the intention that the creators of this cloth had to kill people, right? To create a big mess. So the vibration of the intention behind creating this piece of movie art, let's call it like that, is in the cloth. And if you're not aware of that, it's vibrating constantly. Now you can look around wherever you are right now. What is around you? Are there books? Are there drawings? Are there gifts? And what do you think is the intention behind it? If you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Star Trek fan, if you're an action movie fan, Pokemon fan, I'm not quite sure if Pokemon have weapons, but all the others do. And you say, I collect all of those things. What was the intention of the creation of those things? And they vibrate constantly. Can you really be on purpose with all of that stuff that's vibrating, I assume, in a different vibration than the purpose you're on and that you want to be in? We know that Vladi spends every day 1 hour to sit in silence. I did that for a while, then I stopped, and everyday stuff came in between, but Vladi pulls it through, and I like that. In this 1 hour, she's very connected, and she probably can tell us more about what happens in that hour. You can hear the voice of the universe, or of God, or whoever talks to us from up there, whatever you believe. You can hear the voice because the noise is gone. The beep, 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 and the bling, 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 and all those distracting stuff is away for 1 hour because you're not listening to music. It's just you and the room. And there's usually not that much sound in the room and no distraction. There you can be on purpose. But still, if you're surrounded by clutter, we talked about that in an earlier episode. If you just collect everything, if you have 1 trillion magnets on your cupboard or wherever, and it's nothing against magnets, get me the right way, and it's nothing against collecting stuff, but most of this stuff collects one thing: a lot of dust, right? You have a beautiful board and it's full of whatever, and it collects a lot of dust, and then you have to undust it, and you get frustrated because you have to do that every couple of weeks, and it goes on your nerves. Do you think that's your purpose, to take care of things with a certain vibration? And does it really help you to fulfill your purpose? And I think Vladi is very close in finding or having the best way to find your purpose. If you say, okay, so if I get rid of all the distracting stuff and the frequent distracting stuff, how can I find my purpose? Just sit in silence and listen to the nothing. Listen to yourself, listen to the voice that's in your mind. And I hand it right back to Vladi because she has so much experience in sitting in silence and handling all the things that are coming.
You know, it's so funny because when I've heard someone giving this exercise, I can't remember where was the first idea. It was just like 10 minutes. And I've been doing this. It's actually going to be 2 years in summer. So I started with 10 minutes for many, many months, just 10 minutes. And, you know, I'm a busy woman. And as we were talking about human designs, I'm a generator. So I need to generate. It gives me power to generate. It's interesting because for me, it's like running 1,000 miles an hour and I'm very active. It's still very challenging sometimes. I mean, I am mastering it on probably, I'd say half an hour is a piece of cake, but an hour is still not completely. Now I have days where I'm completely fine an hour. And when I'm super busy and I know that I want to do it, you know, that's where I feel the pressure. We create that pressure ourselves, no one else. I'm so busy and you know, listen, and the thoughts that Norma's talking about. So when you sit there, I put the alarm clock on, I have a piece of paper usually with me on a lap. If something comes and I want to just make a note, like a word or something, I don't actually look down. So I find usually it's easier in the summer because I sit outside in the garden and pay attention to the leaves moving. The leaves are really doing something great to me. So I pay attention to leaves. But if not, I do it inside. I can still find the leaves, or I sometimes just stare. I've got this thing here, which is my favorite. It's like quartz and my, you know, I'm crazy about crystals in case you haven't noticed in all these episodes. I can move it and it kind of moves like this. And I leave it in there and I would look at the moves, and it takes, you know, a few minutes to actually pause. Or I put a candle on and I stare at the candle. Or I've got a scent clock, which I turn upside down and I pay attention to the scent. I have to find an object where I bring my attention to, because your thoughts are crazy when you start doing this exercise. And it takes between 10 and 20, sorry to disappoint you, it's not 2 to 3 minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes for your thoughts just to calm a bit. And really you can feel like, okay, now they're not rushing, they're not telling me this voice like what is the list to do and what are the things I need to fit in this week, and my kids are there, did I pack them this? All these things go away within 10, 20 minutes. I'd say 20 minutes You're pretty much at a calmer mind. And then you just feel this inner peace. It's a very difficult to describe the feeling, but I often talk about the eye of the hurricane. You know, like there's so much distraction when the hurricane hits, but that right in the middle of that hurricane is an ultimate peace. And you feel this as your consciousness rise. We talk about this, like, how does this impact you? Is because it doesn't matter what's happening around you, you know everything is well. You know that if somebody's upset and tells you something, or somebody hoots at you in a car, it's because they're stressed, they have to be somewhere. You know, like you come from the understanding and from this really good place. And this is why I love the exercise, because you do realize your purpose more. You do connect to the I love this. I'm going to actually up it. Not just I love this, I'm in love. I find in love vibration is much higher than just love. It's this ultimate, like, I'm in love with my goal because you see the why behind it. It's not just I want to tick these boxes to achieve it, but why am I doing it? That's this higher purpose behind that makes you greater you in achieving. Because remember, you achieving your goal is who am I going to become in a process? It's not about the goal as such. It's about who you become in a process. This greater, grander version we talked about last episode, or actually episode 60, I am, which was the last episode. So, you know, like really feel this purpose is because I've always been called to do it. There was always something about it. And I'll give you a quick exercise. How did I discover mine? It was actually Bob Proctor who said to us on the lesson, okay, I want you to sit down with a piece of paper, find the similar time. So if you choose to do this in the mornings, I'd like you to do it majority of the times in the mornings. Like, don't have it like whenever. Just choose the time, give yourself 10 minutes, put the timer on, close the timer, and after 10 minutes it beeps, so just schedule it. And I did it in the mornings, like 5. I used to wake up at 5 all the time, so I would have that moment where the whole house would still sleep, so I had my own zone. And in those 10 minutes, you take a page, just literally any kind of notebook, and you just write the date. So you say 9 Feb 2026, and then hit the timer and write down things that you're in love with. So not just what I love, but what I absolutely changes my vibration. And this can be anything. If you go to shopping center, if you love shopping, what are the type of shops you would walk into? Like if you show me crystals, I'll be like, my vibration goes up. If you show me, like, we're talking about reminders around you, whether you're on a purpose. This is actually a gift from Norman. I want to fly a Spitfire. It's been on my vision board. I know I will fly the Spitfire. And it's just every time I look at it, it reminds me. But it's so funny that Norman's actually explaining to you about this excitement. I am no longer super excited about this because I know it's done. So that is something, that reminder, and me and vision board, and I have a picture of myself in front of Spitfire as well, which was made by AI. But I see those. I visualized it so often. I already know what I'm wearing. I already know the sunglasses, and I already know how nervous I am because, you know, like when I'm strapped and that first part will not be enjoyable. I already feel all those. It's done. And that is why you surround yourself with these things and bringing the purpose. So write down all these things. And then next day, the same thing. 10 minutes, write down things you love. In 7 days, you look at this everyday page and you circle each page. In fact, I circle it on the day I do it. I look at the page and I choose 3 things I love the most out of the whole page. And it took me a while at the beginning, but then I got into doing this every day. I got into it so fast that it actually is really fast exercise. Circle 3 green. And in 7 days after a week, I would look at just the greens, which is 21 of them because every day is 1. And I would just choose 3 of the 21, which are the top, and circle them red. And I've done this exercise for 4.5 months when my purpose went bam. I just woke up one day and I know exactly what I was born to do and why I'm here and why I want to do it. Exercise like this, yes, it took 4.5 months. I can't guarantee whether you get this in a week or 2. it actually at the time we might think it's a long time, but actually it goes like this. Look at it. We're in 9th of February. We're just been at Christmas. You know, like it actually happens so fast that if you're persistent, that's one of the best ways. But this is something that helped me. I know it was advice to us, so I wanted to share that with you because that is how you can actually figure out your purpose. But really, it's your feeling. You know whether you're doing the right thing. You know that you've always wanted to do it. It's probably because you're living in the past and still arguing with yourself that, you know, I can't do this because I don't have enough money. I can't do this because I don't have enough education, and I don't know enough people who would help me. You haven't made a decision. Once you make a decision and you step into this new version of you who will achieve that and follow your own path, you will attract everything you need. People, money, opportunities. It really works. But you have to be on your right purpose, connected to your heart. And it comes from within. Norman.
And you still find enough reasons why it does not work, or why it should not work for you, or why it might not work for you. And this guides you the wrong way. What Vladi shared took her 4.5 months. You know, compared to a whole lifetime, this is nothing. If you think, oh, that's a long time. Again, Einstein said, everything is relative. There's no right or wrong. It's a question with what do I compare it with a regular 1-hour time slot? Yeah, 4.5 months is a long time. But compared with a lifetime of 105 years, 4.5 months is nothing. Like you said, we have beginning of February. It's amazing how the year is running already. We're moving towards spring already. It's unbelievable. And out of that, when you found your passion, can you surround yourself with things, with items, with reminders, with pictures, whatever gives you a good feeling or better feeling, rather than looking at the horror movies and the DVDs and the action stuff that you still have that just vibrates on their own and keeps you away from your purpose frequency. Can you surround yourself with those things? And I'm just being reminded, back in my old flat with my 2.5 or 3.5 bedroom apartment, I had the entranceway kind of plastered with backstage passes, with pictures, with celebrities I met. I was coming through that. It was almost like a museum. And now everything is based in the basement. There's a whole room full with hundreds of backstage passes on the wall, and on the other walls are pictures and drumsticks and stuff like that, and guitar plugs. And whenever I'm down there to play darts with the kids, while I'm not on, I look at those things and it gives me a great feeling. It gives me a great feeling because it gives me a feeling of I achieved something. And I don't say this is needed or this is right or wrong, but can you stay on purpose and realize that you are a winner in life? Going back to 2 episodes, what we talked about when my flight got canceled and we could not go to the cruise ship. You don't feel like a winner when stuff like that happens. Can you surround yourself with purpose-driven things that have a frequency of winning? It could be an Oscar in the background. It could be a gold bracelet where gold has a great energy, or diamonds if you have diamonds, or pictures or passes or whatever gives you a good feeling, or a candle that I just saw on my stove over there. It just gives you a great smell. Use all 5 senses and don't let other people destroy that by saying, no, you're not putting that in the hallway. You can put that in the basement or in the toilet or somewhere else where nobody sees it. Hello, it's my living place. And of course, if you're living together with someone, find a good way to handle that. Create some part in the house, in the apartment, in a way where you sit, when you sit in silence and you watch the candle, or you watch the darkness if your eyes are closed, or you listen to the AC. Can you find a place that's surrounded by so many things and items that send out the right frequency that you can stay on purpose, rather than you being bombarded from all different angles with negative stuff? No, you need to stay in a kind of positive vibe for yourself. And then we know you will live more your purpose, or if you're not there yet, you will find your purpose, and the purpose will come in silence and not in noise and outside hassle and everyday life. It will come when you sit still and you know that you are it and that you are connected with everything. And with that being said, we wish you a wonderful week. Enjoy the journey. Don't rush too much. Take time to smell the roses on the way, and we see and hear you again next week with next week's episode. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for watching us. Bye.